Thank
So
you.
glad. Yes, and hop back up.
Yep. That's
Than I ever did my first day. I have to say, I'm so impressed. I'm Ariane Fikki, and some of you know me as a Fikki 817. I would say that I had some really great moments, but I would say the one that made the biggest impression on me, like a moment of belonging, was definitely it really meant something when Paige asked me to be a leader in an admin in our community of Women in Horizons. I felt like a sense of pride and uh, such an important cause that's like really, I feel like helped me really develop certain thoughts about my opinions and how I can and take action, right? So for me, I would say, joining the Women in Horizons community and then also becoming a leader in our community and leading by example for sure. What about you, Afro?
Hey, so I just wanted to just come up here when you had opened up the invite for anyone to come and just sit up here in the panel. I just wanted to take the opportunity just to give thanks to all of you guys once again. I'm hearing all the different stories, and I have to just tell you guys, it's very motivating. There's some really, really strong women in the room. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very, I think it's so dope. One of the, one of my major points here in the metaverse is really hard to really pinpoint, because to me, the whole journey, every time I would perform, it'd be somebody new that I'm meeting and something new that's going on. So it's been just such a dope journey to me. But I think when I would say here in Horizons would probably be the first time I performed, and that was at the Black Magic Comedy Club. They didn't know what I was here to do or what my cause was or who I was, period. And, I remember going up there and I didn't even have on like no type of gear that would indicate that I was an artist. I just had on some, regular, like I think I looked like a school teacher going up there on the stage, and they wasn't expecting it. And when I gave them my story and through, my vocals, through my song, I noticed how people embraced it and how they were all for hip hop. And that right there was my moment to let me know that here in Horizon, I'm about to get busy. It's about to go down and we're about to have a good old time, because whenever I would say that's hip hop, everybody was throwing the confetti up in the air. We're celebrating hip hop 50 years and everything just flowed. So it was like, yo, like, I love this. I love the energy, and this is where it's at. And I'm going to continue to be here to perform. So that was my night where Horizon really gave me an impact and everything. So yeah, man. But kudos to all of you guys, for real, and your stories that you guys bring to the table to definitely inspire other people, not just women. Keep doing what you're doing.
well. I just want to
And
say,
real quick, big shout out. Hold on. Big shout out to my sister Norkin over here. First time here in the metaverse and in Horizon. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm bringing people to the space, and I'm real excited about it. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, CyberShay.
okay, just 1 minute. I see Alley Cat. Alley Cat, I see you really want to be part of this. We're talking about a sense of belonging. You're a woman of Horizon too. You take a place over in here, and you'll get to share your sense of belonging too. Women of Horizon, there's women of all ages. And people always say young people are leaders of the future, but they're also leaders today as well. So
That's right.
So you're one of us. You belong here.
Okay, so
Yep.
CyberShay, you ready?
Okay, CyberShay.
yeah.
Thank you.
So I floated in the metaverse because I started getting into NFTs, and I had got an NFT, and they gave me a free apartment in the multiverse. So the multiverse was my first experience in the metaverse, and when I got into the multiverse, I met friends in the multiverse, which took me over to alt space, and those friends, I hanged out with them in alt space, and alt space is where I, began I started getting all my growing and connections, and I started working with brands. Like I work with one of the biggest brands in the metaverse, LuxVR. He makes avatars for people. He builds worlds. So I'm a salesperson, brand ambassador for him. And then in Allspace, I also met YoAphro. I met YoAphro at the campfire. So I met her, and started meeting other people, and I started working with people like DJ Marcus J, and I started just getting all these connections and building a family with people, and then which got me into writing my book. I wrote a book called Unlocking the Metaverse, Revolutionizing Your Business and Offers in the Digital Frontier, to help people bring their business and onboard it in the metaverse. And I'm starting my own business. I just started my LLC today. I just registered for it's called CyberSocialites, which giving metaverse tours, onboarding. Thank you.
Done, Shay.
Onboarding businesses and brand ambassadors. It's gonna be a whole bunch of things. Teaching people how to use VR.
Awesome.
A whole bunch of things. So that's what gave me a spot in the metaverse. Yeah. And I work with YoAphro, with the Block Collective. Also, I'm part of the team.
Beautiful. Paige, am I allowed to cheat and give you 2 moments when I
Yes.
the belonging?
Yes.
The first one and then the second one deepened that for me. The first time I felt that sense of belonging in here was literally the moment I met my beautiful, beautiful sister Maddie. And the welcome you gave me to this world, Maddie, was just instantly, I knew that I'll be, with someone who'll hold my hand if I was lost in this place and take me along with you and not leave me behind. So that was my first moment of that belonging. The second was really when I launched the VivaCoach experience and I reached out to the wider sisterhood group and asked to come along and celebrate the International Women's Day as part of that launch. Yes. And I was overwhelmed with how great response I had. Paige, you were part of it. Gigius, you were part of it. Leo, you were my absolutely amazing collaborator on that. Maddie, you were part of it. So many women here were part of that. And all I had to do was literally not even finish off that message going to them. And they said, we're on board. What do you need, Viva? And that really affirmed that, I have people around me who are supportive and I really do belong in this place.
Wonderful.
Leo. I was really trying to think long and hard too. I'm Boss Leo IO. For those who just came from the exchange, but I'm the creator behind the Diamond Resilience, and my new tagline that I love saying now, what I do in this space is transforming stories of resilience into impactful ventures. And I feel like that brings home into my heart and what I do here. I would say my true sense of belonging here really came with the launch of the White Elephant Party. And I too will give my big love and heart to MaddyVR as well. Because Lord knows that I was not trying to do it after what I was going through at that time, and just really was at a place where I just wanted to just give up all over again and not knowing where I wanted to do. But seeing how successful the White Elephant was, it was my chance of doing something for me, having a vision and seeing it through and thriving on that, and just having an amazing amount of community people behind me supporting that. I want to say nearly half of the people are here today a part of that, but just seeing how people was willing to support me even though I did not know like what I was doing or where I want to go with this, but it sounds interesting. It gave me a new sense of belonging and welcome, because I don't know that from my own blood and from my own people here in the real world, and to feel like I'm wanted and I have a community and a tribe means a lot to me in this space, and I protect this safe space so much. So that's what I will say here. I guess Matt is super excited. She got coined out.
Well, my first sense of belonging, it was really funny. Not many people know this story. I haven't told it in the metaverse much. But when I first came into my headset, you know, you had to make an Oculus account. And I wanted my name to be ShayArtsz because the arts is my business. It's a Real Touch by Shay or Real Touch store. But the ShayArtsz wasn't available, and so I put a Z at the end of my name, and I said, just call me ShayArtsz. Like the Z is silent. Um, the first few apps I downloaded were Horizons and Outspace. No, it was Venues and Outspace. I hadn't found Horizons at that time. And when I came into Outspace, they had like events. As soon as you open it up and you come on, you see different events. And this was like my second day on the headset. So I came into Outspace and I joined this world that was full of people, and I was just walking around, just looking at everything and whatever. And I got kicked out the world. And so I was like, you know, that was weird. So I joined another world. And as I'm walking around, some people say hey to me, some people say, hey, Artsy. And I'm like, hey, I'm Shay, and whatever. And then I got kicked out the world again. And so that was, it was unsettling to me. I didn't understand, you know, I didn't really have a chance to conversate with people. And so I went over, I searched for different social apps, and I found Horizons. When I came into Horizons, no one knew who I was. I walked around on mute because I had like a disturbing experience my first time in the social app. And so when I came to Horizons, I walked around on mute a lot. I visited clubs, art worlds, and whatever. And the first time I had a conversation with some random person. It was a world called How High, and it was full of stars. And you had crayons where you can connect the dots on the stars. And I didn't know how to build, so I went into that world. And I used to go in there a lot my first week in Horizons and just color with the stars. And people used to come in like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, you did that with the crayons, or you should build worlds. But I didn't know how to do that and whatever. And so during the continuation of my journey in Horizons, I developed a name for myself, a brand for myself. I'm ShayArtsz. Every time, not every time, but in the beginning when people used to call me ShayArtsy, it used to trigger me because my first experience on Horizons wasn't, my first social experience on the headset wasn't, it wasn't fun. And so when I first came and I started really putting my art out there, like my first Better World Museum, that was the world that people really got to know me because no one really knew me. I didn't really talk to many people at the time. Just a few people that encouraged me to build the script. And so that was the first world I made where people got to know me and who I was and hear my story. And that's where I first felt my first sense of belonging in the headset.
Thank you, Shay. Alley Cat, do you want to quick talk about your first sense of belonging really quick? This is
I got nothing in mind.
All right. Well, have a seat over with the visitors who are our audience. That's the best place for you. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we're going to continue. And we're talking today about intersectional inclusion and recognizing the needs of diverse women of color here in Horizon. And that's our focus here today at this talk. And a sense of belonging.
What world are we supposed to go to next?
Alley Cat?
Yes.
Yep. We're in a program. We're in a program now. You're welcome to stay, but I also encourage you to check out some doors if you feel like moving around. Okay, so when we talk about a sense of belonging, the balance of that is a sense of exclusion, right? And a sense of this, yep, okay, we can do that. Okay, I don't want disruption in our our valuable time. So I did accept to vote to remove. And that's okay. So okay, farewell. So centering back on a sense of belonging, there's also times that like a sense of not belonging. And what ways could virtual reality, as your experience has, would lead you to say could be improved for diverse women? And we're going to start with Shay and come back this way. Lent Warrior, come closer together next to Afro. Thank you. And so, Shay, lead us back down the line. How can VR be better for diverse women? Whether it's the hardware, the community, the accessibility. I'd like to hear each one of you share a viewpoint on what can make it better for diverse women.
For me, I believe accessibility was the biggest thing for me. When I come into this space, I feel more comfortable going into places where I feel uncomfortable than I would in IRL. And so when you come into spaces in Horizons, it's easy to, in the virtual space period, it's easy to hop into worlds and find random people in different communities. And in IRL, I didn't have the courage to go out into those different spaces where I may have felt like I wasn't accepted, that may have been new, or I may have had assumptions of how I might be treated when I come into spaces. And so when I came into the VR, it made it easier to go into those spaces, especially when they were so diverse, when they were so, from so many different ways and walks of life. So having the hardware itself opened up my social network. It opened up my whole social network, business and personal wise. So that was the biggest impact for me.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for sharing that accessibility to the hardware itself. It was such a major factor that can improve VR for more diverse women. Boss Leo, what would you say?
That could make the place more inclusive. I just want to make sure I understood the question correctly. I say two things, which I'm quite sure a lot of panelists might say too, is access and the gatekeeping part. I know for me, when I came into this space, it felt like initially I wasn't accepted. I would go to some worlds and I'll see some dope artists and some creators, and I just immediately would receive that sense of rejection, as if like I wasn't good enough to speak to that person. Or I would go into rooms and I would say hello and I wouldn't even get a hey back. And it kind of reminded me of a time when I think I was in college and I was working at McDonald's. And this whole time I was being judged as being a cashier at McDonald's. These people had no idea that I was literally in college, a 4-time internship person in IT, leadership of my organization, spoke on kennels, did all the things, but I got that sense of rejection. And you just never know who you could come across and who could be like that hidden gem. And it just made me hungry for, like, you know what, let me go out and create my own, let me do my own. So I say all that to say that just having a sense of like inclusion and access, just saying a hello or hearing someone's story is really important. You never know that this person that you ignoring could really be that one ticket to where you're trying to go into your own creator journey there. So having access and not gatekeeping, trying to limit people. And I think Horizon in itself, and I talk about this a lot with a lot of people, that the way Horizon is built with their early access and a lot of other things where you're pretty much giving all of these deals to creators, it kind of like turn away creators who really put in a lot of hard work into this space and feel like they're not being valued there, and not being heard. And so like, why should I put my energy, my talents, and my gifts and investment to the platform that doesn't value? And as we say in my Black community, go where you are appreciated and not tolerated, because we are talented here. So I'll say those are my two things: is access and gatekeeping, that we have to do a better job at. And if we can expect the platform to do it, then we as a community have to be better in doing that for each other and ourselves.
Beautifully said. I agree wholeheartedly that the the that Horizon itself is a model of structural inequity, and that it has like gatekeeping mechanisms. Like, some people have tri-mesh, some people have monetization, some people have access, some people do not, some people are like, but it's structural from the corporation. And that movement of community members to dismantle that through simply saying hello, right, to another person next to you, that act chips that structure, that it is penetrable, but it takes everyone having intentional actions all the time, right? I believe that hello, as you said, could be your next collaborator and conspirer to dismantle that structural inequity, as well as a creator of a vision of a world of the future that you deserve. VivaCoach, what would, in your perspective, how can VR be better, more inclusive for diverse women?
Let's start with what it is doing well, and then we can go on to sort of, what can be even better. I find, if you compare it to real world, I find that Metaverse and Horizon, it's a cross-industry integration piece that really interests me here. So the metaverse is not limited to one specific industry, right? It intersects across. I mean, look at this panel. I look at it and I'm looking at sort of, artists. I'm looking at authors. I'm looking at business specialists. I'm looking at sort of, all sorts of different industries coming together in one space. So I think this is where it's really, really good. And I think where we can be better is, I would actually go back to the corporate structure of these platforms. The reason for that is a lot of what we're seeing, and a lot of what I've seen since I've stepped into this world, these platforms, is they're very community led, where they're succeeding.
Right.
So I think there's a power in community, and I absolutely am for it. But I think it's also really important for institutions to take responsibility and support those communities to thrive even further. And I think there is a gap there. And I think this is exactly where digital divide starts becoming bigger and bigger. And we've talked about sort of, some people being privileged with certain things and others not. And we talk about intersectionality, and often this is where, the challenges come in. It comes in at the point of where some are privileged, some are advantaged, and others are not. So I think that's the bit that the institution itself needs to think through.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And CyberShay, let's hear your thoughts on this. What can make it better in VR? You are on mute, but of course that extends into crypto and NFTs.
So maybe have some maybe Horizon can can have some focus groups to figure out how things is going on in VR along different groups and races and stuff. That's one thing they could do, and maybe start some more VR, more women of color VR groups to bring it in. That's all I can think of.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, definitely the community is doing this, but I agree that it needs to be like the top needs to broaden, so it's not even top down, it's top across, top all encompassing. YoAphro.
I would say more panels like this, you know, and for these panels that are being, you know, that they're having, I feel like maybe marketing them a little bit more to the public in the real world, so that the women that are maybe hearing about the metaverse may have doubt or questions, they can, you know, they'll hear more about it, read more about it, and then they'll see that there's more, you know, events like this going on. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. That's embarrassing.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
but yeah, simply put, more panels like this to invite women in, to let them know that there's so much here for them. There's women here ready to accept them, you know, help them through whatever it is, or give them more of a push to what it is that they are doing, you know. So this right here, I think, is so cool by itself. You know what I'm saying? Getting to know everyone, hear what everyone is doing. This is just really, really nice and inviting. So why not?
Well, fantastic. There's always going to be more of these. This is the 5th Women's Summit. We started in 2021 at our International Women's Month, and we just keep on going. We're not going to stop. And we have more women like Boss Leo's event, VivaCoach, and all the work that all the women are doing in this platform. Keep on doing that. Keep on sharing it. Let's continue loud and proud. Lent Warrior, you're a coin right now, but if you're inspired to come back in and your voice has a place here at all times. Excellent.
I didn't coin. Thank you for letting me know. So for me, I know when every time that I've come in so far, I've had Bernice to assist me through the program. But as someone that is new to the program, I think the easeability of the program is something that can be improved. For a new person, it is difficult to navigate. I tried to come in without her, and I got completely lost on, you know, inside the system. So definitely, you know, a little easeability with the program for newcomers.
Beautiful. Well said. Right, because nothing like just having barriers of like that can be frustrating. Oh, this doesn't fit. I don't know how to navigate. Leads to this immediate sense of this place is not for me. I don't belong here. I don't no more, right? And so just narrowing that barrier to entry as much as possible can create a comfort that's important by design. Well, thank you so much. This is our panel.